Vow, view, vow, view, vow, view, vow, view,
vow to view, vow, 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 vow to view.
Vow to view each other's movies, even though we don't always like them, but it's okay because we love each other and movies too.
Oh, hi guys, and welcome to another exciting episode of Vow To View, the podcast all about marriage and other things we make each other watch. My name is Elyse Daly.
I don't understand why you're doing it so weirdly.
I'm supposed to say your name.
I'm Scott Daly.
And together we're the Dailies.
We're gonna get that right one day.
You just forgot the together part.
Yeah. Well, see, the script doesn't say the word together on it.
I told you I wanted to say together.
But that's not what the script says.
But you knew I was going to go off script, so you need to stay with the off script.
But if I write it into the script, then you will go off of it.
But then you'll be happy because I didn't go off script.
No, but you will, though. If I write it in the script, you won't follow
No,
the
but
script.
you will have done what I wanted you to do. So I will say what I wanted to say. But at that point, you would be happy because
we are back.
We would be...
We are back. We recorded this podcast last week, and we told you guys, let us know if you liked it. And you let us know. You did. We got a lot of positive feedback. So we thought we'd keep this thing going. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep this thing going. We're gonna
choo choo, full steam ahead.
There you go.
What?
Choo choo. Anyway,
what?
Yeah. I guess before we get started, we should explain what this is. So this podcast, like Elyse said, is about marriage and the film we make each other watch. Elyse read the line as "and the other stuff we make each other watch."
That's what you wrote.
No, I didn't.
Is it not? Oh, sometimes I don't read right.
So each week on this podcast...
I guess if you did put the word together, I might not have said it correctly.
Yeah, that's exactly...
Together we are the Dailies.
That's exactly my point.
And here...
So each week...
we watched the shows and movies together.
Are you done?
Today.
Are you done?
Movies.
She's not done. She's not done.
Wonderful cinematic expressions.
I hope you guys are ready for 45 minutes of this, because I'm not.
These dreams within the dreams. Inception. The movie that started it all.
What?
I don't know.
What? See, what I've learned, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, is sometimes you just gotta let her go, and she's gonna run out of things to say eventually, and then we can proceed with the podcast.
The movies keep going and going.
So this
Forever.
is the podcast where every week after we listen to Elise's nonsense for 15 minutes, we each pick a movie for each other to watch, and then we get together and we talk about those movies. Elyse will pick one for me to watch, and I will pick one for her to watch.
The good ones will come from me. The bad ones will come from him.
Whatever. And yeah, so each week we will talk about these movies. We'll talk about why this movie was important to us prior to our relationship, and then we will talk about what the significant other thought of it, and then if they learned anything about us through this entertainment. And it's not just movies, like we keep saying movies, but it could be TV shows.
So if we learned anything about marriage
or about marriage,
relationships, you know, we gotta keep this focused on love.
Yeah.
You know, what did we learn about
love and a little bit of annoyance, a little bit.
What?
Yeah, a little bit.
You're not annoyed with me.
I mean, I wasn't until we hit the record button.
What?
Anyway,
you guys missed all the really good bloopers beforehand.
Yeah, I wish I had been pressing record.
I think I need a TV show. Podcasts just don't show me. I'm better visually.
Yeah. I mean, clearly talking is not your strong suit.
You know, I just talk to kiddos all day.
Anyway, Elyse, why don't you go ahead and let us know what movie did you pick for me today watch and to talk about. What was your selection this week?
I chose this really good movie. I mean, it is like Oscar-winning movie.
Oh, is it?
It was the first movie to win Best Picture that was shot in color. I think I read that somewhere. I was trying to find some trivia. Me and my IMDb. Got nominated for lots of acting awards.
It did.
Yeah. Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind.
So there's something I realized about you. There's something we're recording this the day we released our 2017 awards and top 5 lists podcast that Elyse was on.
Yeah.
And I realized there's something about when you reveal what your thing is, you do it and
it's not a good reveal.
It's like
it's the worst reveal ever.
It's the worst build up. It's the worst build up. You're like, and then I picked a thing, and you're building to it, and it's like it's about the reveal is gonna drop, and then you're just like, Gone with the Wind, and then there's no.
I take it away.
There's no payoff to that build up at all. But yeah, Gone with the Wind is the movie you picked
no
for
payoff?
me. I mean, it's just not.
What about last time when I had my good quote and I had my fist in the air? Which another reason I need a TV show because no one
audio
knew.
Only. She's got her fist in the air right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, Gone with the Wind, the 1939. That's okay.
I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm trying to do a wind noise.
I think they can hear it.
Gone with the.
So tell us, Elyse. Tell us what Gone with the Wind is about.
So Gone with the Wind is basically about this brat named Scarlett. And about her trying to live her privileged life throughout the Civil War and coming to terms with the fact that she doesn't have the same lifestyle, so she fights to get it back in the end. And there's a love story in there.
Kind of.
They end up loving each other. I think they will. Tomorrow was another day. We never knew what happened tomorrow. At Tara.
So
with Ashley.
So why did you select
Ashley? I thought you loved me, Ashley.
Elyse,
What?
why did you pick Gone with the Wind? Just tell the people why you picked the movie.
I didn't ever tell you why I picked it either. I kind of wanted to save this.
Okay, go ahead.
So I picked it because originally I did not like this movie.
Oh.
I hated it. When you watch a movie that's 4 hours long and you're 8 years old and you're not ready for it. Yeah, that was me. I did not like it. I only remembered it as that really long movie that was really boring and long. And my mom made me watch it.
But was that the whole story?
Later you come to find you give things a second chance. Things that were annoying, things that were frustrating and boring at first, you end up really loving. Like your husband one day.
Wait.
I'm just kidding. You weren't boring and annoying from the first. You were very exciting and wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But so then I gave it another go and I was like, you know what? I appreciate this movie for what it is. And then, I don't watch it very often because it's really long. But every time I do, I enjoy it.
Okay.
So that's why I hated it when I was young. Don't make your kids watch it when they're not ready for it. Don't make them do it. They'll hate it.
How old were you when you first realized that you kind of liked it?
I don't know. Maybe high school. I watched it again. And it was not all in one sitting. It came on TV again. And I started watching a portion of it. And I was like, oh, this isn't that bad. And then I went back and I rewatched the whole thing. And I was like, you know what? It's a pretty decent movie. Got to fast forward through that, intermission. Got to fast forward through that overture. Got to fast forward through those beginning credits because no one really likes the credits at the beginning anyways.
Okay. Credits are important.
And then you get to the real good part. And then you get to Scarlett and you see Scarlett's really annoying. And you're really frustrated with Scarlett because she's being very immature. And that's our dog. She's trying to lick the computer right now. I don't get it. She likes Scarlett. She thinks it's Scarlett. When I speak the words, it's peanut butter, but it's not. No peanut butter coming out of my mouth right now. It's just talk about Scarlett O'Hara. from Tara.
Okay.
That should be a rap.
All right.
I bet you they have one. We should look it up.
A rap about Gone with the Wind?
Oh, yeah, I bet there
I'm
is
sure
one.
someone in the history...
You know what, listeners? If not you write our Gone with the Wind rap, please, about Scarlett O'Hara from Tara.
Please do.
The O'Hara Terras. Tearing it apart. O'Hara Terras.
See, you don't have to write one. She's just going to do it. She's just going to go.
That's just a little for you to,
Okay.
get a taste of what it could be.
So I had never seen this movie. This is one of the...
You say you love movies and you've never seen this?
We already did this.
The one where the first African-American woman got an Oscar nomination and win?
Supporting.
I just said Oscar nomination. I didn't say what it was for. But yeah, supporting. And
Yeah.
Mammy was great.
Mammy was great. This movie, pretty racist.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it's 1930. So here's like...
I was really trying to do the math in my head too. Like, how far after the Civil War was this movie made?
1939. Civil War was 1860s. So math.
I guess 90. That's distant enough.
It's not.
No, 60,
really 90.
60 years. I was adding
Do you
60
teach
plus
math
30.
to kids?
You know, some might think math, some might think life skills, some might think jokes.
All right. Yeah. So I can't say why I've never seen this movie. It's just like
Because you've never had Elyse in your life before now.
I mean, there we go. But yeah, I'd
That's
never sat down. Like, this is probably one of the big holes in the classic films that I've never seen. And so we sat down.
We filled
and
that.
we watched it.
We poured cement in that hole. We let it dry for 4 hours.
We really thought we were going to break this up and watch like the first half on Friday
no.
and the second half on Saturday.
No, we're going to watch it all.
We powered through that thing.
We did.
It's a long movie.
It's a long, good movie.
I didn't hate it.
You did it?
I didn't.
You passed the Scott test?
What's the Scott test? The Elyse test is falling asleep. What's the Scott test?
Are you on your phone?
That's not... No, when I'm in theaters, I never look at my phone. That's a bad test. It's a bad test.
It's an at-home test.
It's a bad test.
I think it's a good test.
It's a bad test.
I think it's a good test.
Okay. Anyway, it is a movie... What are you laughing at me for?
I'm just going to change the subject.
Yeah, because I need to keep this thing moving.
Okay.
Your
it's
role...
a bad test.
Your role in this whole thing is to sidetrack me as much as possible.
What?
Yeah.
My role is to be the supporting, encouraging wife who makes you watch movies that were important to her childhood and then let you talk about them. That's my role.
But you're not letting me talk about them because you keep interrupting me to tell me what your role
Well, if you had a
is.
better test, then I'd let you talk about them.
Okay.
Fine. You may. I permit you to talk about them.
Thank you.
You're
yeah.
welcome.
This movie, I mean, it is very long, and some of the criticism of the movie, even when it came out, was that it's probably a little too long, and it's an adaptation of a book, and apparently they kept most of the novel in the story.
We went to the bookstore and I just opened up to random pages and I was like, yep, said that in the book. Yep, said that in the book.
So yeah, I mean, this is probably a thing where they like there is no reason for this movie to be 4 hours long, and I appreciate the epic scale of it. Like it's shot on super widescreen for the time. This was a big elaborate production. The burning of Atlanta is the famous scene from this movie, was one of like the most expensive things ever attempted. And this, of course, it paid off in spades because this is the, adjusted for inflation, the highest grossing film ever. Ever. And so like, I think every single person living in America in 1939 saw this film. Just everyone saw it. It was
except you, Scott. How come you didn't see it then?
Well, see, I wasn't born.
Some might say you look pretty old.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Wow. I don't know how long this podcast is going to go on.
What? I know you might die.
I liked your summary of the movie because Scarlett is a jerk, and
she's extremely immature. And I go back and I watch that, and I'm like, every time at the beginning, I'm like, I'm not going to like her at the end. I find her so annoying. I can't believe her. And I do that with Melanie, too. Melanie irritates the fire out of me. It's like the killer with kindness cousin that I'm just like, girl backbone. I'm just like, stop and just be mean, you know, because no one is ever really that nice.
Mm-hmm.
But,
She always
you know,
is,
with Scarlett,
because she saved her in Atlanta.
Yeah, whatever. But, you know, Scarlett, I just, you know, I watched the beginning and I'm like, man, she's so spoiled. She's so irritating. She just like never grows up. And then you think for a split second in the middle of the movie that she's going to, you know, like she goes back. She is the one that has to lead her family. She's the one that like slaps her sister and tells her, you know what, forget about your hands. We've got to do the work. Like, and then she goes and she rallies the money to try and save Tara. And then in the end, she's exactly where she started. She's back to her rich, spoiled person. She's still loving Ashley until the very, very, very end, where her dream, and you know, she's running through the mist and she finally knows what she's chasing after. And you know, it's just like, but for me, I usually like those like strong female characters that, you know, like they go through some sort of change and they like represent, you know, like what women should be. And not that she doesn't have like those moments, but she's still the immature, spoiled brat.
She is.
The whole time.
That is absolutely true. And you're right. Like she is a strong.
And why do I like that?
Because she is a strong character. Because she goes like
she's very spoiled.
Post Civil War, but like the Civil War has ended. She's penniless. She's broke. Her family's starving. Yeah. And she alone, through her strength and through her smarts, brings them back from that. And that is an encouraging thing. But you're absolutely right. She is spoiled. She is obsessed with this Ashley guy. And the most annoying part in the movie to me was when like
Ashley just leads her on. I just got so frustrated with Ashley. And I like Rhett Butler. I mean, he's a total playboy, but what's not to like about Rhett?
But Ashley, like the very end of the movie, it's like suddenly she's like, oh, Ashley never really loved me. And then she runs home to Rhett and is like, oh, just kidding. I didn't ever love Ashley. It was always you, Rhett.
I think you could tell at the very end that she was like maybe starting to turn.
Absolutely.
But she's, you know.
But she's still lying. Like the idea that she never really liked this guy and
But he knew the whole time that she loved Ashley.
Yeah. Well,
he knew.
Their relationship is so complicated. And it's so like, it's crazy to think of this movie as a 1939 movie because like this is not a wholesome relationship. This is they are cruel to each other. They there is implied rape in this movie, or at least assault, and it is a very complicated, disturbing, uncomfortable relationship.
Yeah,
but it's so that surprised me. Like you think like this classic romantic love story, you're gonna get a very 30s and 40s kind of classic like people fall in love and there's a happy ending, and that's not what you get in this movie at all. This is not a happy ending. This is like this.
But I will also say when I think of Gone with the Wind, yes, I think of Scarlett and Rhett, but I think Civil War, and I think of how Civil War affected people. Not necessarily their love. I think it's just how it affected America. Right. And so that you definitely
this is very much a movie that discusses what was lost in the Civil War. Like you start out with this old genteel South that's very traditional and very proud and very slave holding, and that is stripped away from them and destroyed. By their own making. They wanted to do this, and yeah, I mean, there's like the movie is very anti-Yankees because all the characters in are Southerners, and the Yankees and the carpetbaggers are the evil people that are coming to take our land, and take all our food, and raise our taxes, and it is very much, and that's. I
also wonder, maybe you didn't see it because you grew up in the North.
I grew up. I mean, I was 7 years old,
but maybe people in the South watched it a little bit more. Well, and that's not that I am not by any means a Confederate. Let's just get that right out there.
No, nope. But I mean, there is a a sentiment about the Civil War, the lost cause, grand old Southern tradition that they were fighting to maintain their way of life, this grand old way of life. And I think this movie, to a certain extent, played into or helped form that false narrative. Because
maybe
this movie is very, like, the black characters in this movie seem content in their way of life. They're actively fighting against the North, and then there were some black men in the Confederate Army. They were forced to, but it's tough to reconcile that thing for me, because on the one hand, I know exactly why you like this movie. I think it's this grand, it's very beautifully shot. They did things in this movie. There were camera moves in this movie with these big cameras that I hadn't seen before in a movie that old. How they did some of these things was really technically impressive and wonderful, and the performances are very good. But yeah, like, there's that part of the movie that made me very uncomfortable. The grand old Southern tradition narrative. And you think about how many people saw this movie that, like we said, everyone in the country saw this movie, and how much did this play into the Confederate flag as history?
Well, how much did it play into the fact that this was was before integration, desegregation?
Yeah, the Civil Rights Movement. Yeah,
Civil Rights Movement. I am sorry, that made me sound really dumb.
No, we can cut it. We're not going to cut it.
He never cuts the things that make me dumb.
The more you talk about it, the harder it gets to cut. So, no, but I
graduated from college.
But yeah, no. So it's an interesting
degree.
thing to think about, because this is, I mean, it's interesting to me that who was the woman that won the Oscar?
Hattie Mays. Hattie.
Yeah,
I know her first name's Hattie.
I mean, her character, like, I think she delivers a great performance, and she deserved that reward. But her character is very much Hattie McDaniel. Yeah. Her character of Mammy is very much be there to be the happy maid that's, like, pushing them along, and the other character is I forget the one
Prissy.
Yeah, who's, like, out of her mind, like, dumb, and it's just there's these uncomfortable stereotypes.
Her high-pitched voice.
And, like, to a certain extent, like, anytime you watch an old movie, you have to put yourself back in the culture at the time. So you can't, like, I can't say this is a bad movie because they have outdated looks on sex and race. Because, I mean, you can say that those are troubling things, but I don't think it's fair to judge the movie itself for that. But I do think it's fair to look at this movie as the source or the large contributing factor to the lost cause narrative of the South. And that's something I really can't square, because not only is that historically completely inaccurate, but it has led to a lot of this
you
Confederate
don't know
flag
that it
as
was
history.
the source, but I think that it was
not. It was not the entirety of the source, but it Birth of a Nation and this movie led into a narrative that is not a good one and not an accurate one. So, but divorcing the movie from that kind of stuff, I think it's important to bring that up. But moving away from that, there's a lot of things to like in this movie. You're absolutely right. As much as Scarlett is a spoiled, annoying,
you love her, and it's just why. But you do.
It's a really good performance too. It's a really good performance, and I absolutely agree that Clark Gable kills it as Rhett Butler. He's charming. Yes. He's confident. Like, he always seems. And, like, the movie.
You want an interesting fact about the Rhett Butler Vivian Leigh thing? So Rhett Butler smoked a whole lot, and he had fake teeth, and maybe you didn't know because I'm saying, like, hey, he had fake teeth,
You're talking about Clark Gable?
Clark Gable, okay. Yeah. He had fake teeth because of his smoking habit. And the dentures, I guess, weren't so good back then that it made him have really bad breath. So she hated kissing him. That's hilarious. Anytime. She said it was the worst kiss she'd ever had. Was really for the movie that she probably was, like, obviously most known for.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the cover of the poster. Yeah.
She's just staring at it. Oh, I remember his breath right then. I turned away. It wasn't acting. It was real.
It's so funny that like you're kind of stuck in Scarlett's point of view through most of this film.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of mostly following her around. So you see Rhett as this confident, like cocksure type of guy. But the more you learn about him later in the movie, like he's just in this forlorn state of love too, very similar to Scarlett is with Ashley. Like he's kind of been obsessed with this woman since he met her, and he comes off as cocky and commanding and like
that's why they're perfect for each other. And that's why Ashley and Melanie are perfect for each other, because they're both irritating, just people that drift from one side to the other. Melanie's much better than Ashley, I will say. You know, if we're giving awards out to who's the most annoying character, it is definitely Ashley. We should do that every movie. Who's the most annoying character? I got one for Starship Troopers, that's for sure.
Oh. Well, we'll get there in a second. Yeah. So, I mean, this is like, I know exactly why your parents made you watch this movie, because this is like your family was a lot more into inundating with classic films than my family was. We'd had a few in my family. Like we had It's a Wonderful Life and Singing in the Rain and a couple more I can't think of. But your family loved making you guys watch classic films as an early age.
We'd go to the movie store on the weekend and we'd each get to pick out a movie, and then my mom would always pick one out that was one of the classics and we had to watch it. This was never one of those. It would have been like 4 VHSs. I don't know, maybe just 2.
But like I get that you like the strong female character, but I completely know, like I was like, this Elyse is gonna hate this girl. Like she's gonna have a love-hate relationship with this woman, because it's exactly what I would see your reaction to this being, because you like the strength, you appreciate the strong, independent woman character, but that doesn't mean she doesn't have to be a whiny jerk. She's so whiny.
Yeah, she's pretty whiny.
Yeah.
But it's just perfect though. It really is.
It's a good performance. It's a good movie. I like it.
Sorry.
And I'm glad I finally had a reason to sit down and actually watch it. So that is Gone with the Wind.
I guess you learned about me. What did you learn about me?
We just
oh,
did
hey.
that part. We just did that part.
What'd you learn about marriage? Huh?
What did we learn about marriage?
What?
We learned that hopefully both of us actually love each other.
Oh, yeah.
And not some mysterious other person.
Oh, that's true.
I hope that's true for you.
It's very true.
Okay, good. Yeah. And we need to communicate. Horse jumping. No.
Yeah.
No horse jumping.
We are never, ever going to go and learn how to jump horses.
If your father died from horse jumping,
just like Pa.
When your husband,
just like Pa.
When your husband,
and that's why you need video
like,
right
hey,
there. My expression was perfect, Vivian.
Hey, I'm gonna install a horse jumping thing in the backyard. Why wouldn't you be like, no, my dad, he died from doing that, so we probably shouldn't let our daughter do that. But I guess that would have to mean Scarlett was like involved.
Horses also meant wealth.
Well, it's fine riding a horse. It's not fine jumping over things on a horse when clearly that's a dangerous thing that caused your father to die.
Yeah, well, it was just that pony's fault.
I mean,
the pony stopped.
Rhett goes and kills the pony.
Shoots it right between them eyes.
But I guess Scarlett would have had to have been a attentive mother to have noticed at all.
Who's that other woman? What other woman's in it? What?
Siri.
You have another woman on your phone right now?
Busted.
Is it Melanie?
It's Ashley.
Ashley? No, not Ashley.
All right. So that's Gone with the Wind. Thank you. Thank you for making me watch. Stop it. I hope you do sound effects for the next movie.
I don't know what I would do for the next one.
I don't know either. But I'm glad I finally got to see the. That's weird. I'm glad I finally got to see the famous scene where they said "damn" in a movie in 1939.
I know.
Oh my God,
it was very scandalous.
Yeah.
Frankly, my dear Scarlett, I don't give a damn.
I don't think he says Scarlett.
I know he doesn't say Scarlett. I always add the Scarlett because I think it's better.
Oh, you just rewrote Gone with the Wind.
Yes.
Okay.
I make things better.
That's that confidence.
Your life,
that's
Gone
that
with the
confidence
Wind.
that I love in you right there.
Ah,
That confidence
thanks.
that you can just take a one of the most winningest movies ever and just rewrite it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know where I get that confidence from? Scarlett.
All right. And that is Gone with the Wind. And when we come back, we will do my movie.
Young people from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
They're doing their part. Are you? Join the mobile infantry and save the world. Service guarantees citizenship.
And we are back. And it is now time for me to take over this podcast.
Oh, like he
Or-
wasn't already.
or try.
Let's be real.
Or try.
Scott takes over everything.
Whoa.
Just kidding.
The ironic...
I take over
Yeah,
everything.
I mean, I'm sitting here trying to talk and you're taking over the podcast. So my movie, the movie that I picked
Yes, do tell.
to watch this week is, following in my grand 1 week tradition, is another science fiction movie
Tradition.
from 1997. I picked Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers is a adaptation of a book as well.
Oh. Let's
and
compare and contrast. We both picked movies that were based on books.
It's Paul Verhoeven's
Both movies had
adaptation of the
war.
book by the same name. It follows a group of high schoolers in a futuristic, non-democratic state as they go to war with giant space bugs from another planet. And it is pretty thinly veiled satire of fascism and totalitarianism and how war kind of turns people into fascists. I think that's one thing Paul Verhoeven very specifically says about this movie is war makes fascists of us all. And it's a good movie. And I picked it because my dad and I had, when we were kids, something called Father-Son Bonding Day, which is the official name of the event, which is basically...
Daddy-daughter date night.
Mine's better. Basically, this was just an excuse for my dad and I to see the latest science fiction movie anytime it came out, because my mom usually did not want to go see those movies. So we went and we saw this movie together.
How does that make you feel, being the excuse to just go see a movie?
What? It was father-son.
I guess I'll just take him along.
We were bonding.
Yeah.
We were bonding.
Okay.
I was 12 years old when this movie came out. 12 or 13. And this movie has nudity in it. So I was like,
what?
Oh, I got to see naked women in it.
Yeah.
At 13, that's a big deal. But so I remember really liking the movie, and my dad is like, oh, that's nothing like the book. And so he gave me the book. And he gave me the book to read afterwards, and I read the book, and I liked the book too, and it is very different from the book, and I'll have a lot to talk about on the differences between the book and the movie.
Oh, are we talking about that?
Well, it's going to be part of the discussion we're going to have, Elyse.
Oh.
That's part of the discussion.
Why didn't you read Gone with the Wind before we talked about it, so we could do that too?
Because,
I read Gone with the Wind.
Good for you.
I really didn't read
I
Gone with the Wind.
didn't think you did. Anyway, Elyse, what did you think of Paul Verhoeven's Starship Troopers?
Well, you picked this movie thinking I was going to hate it.
I really did.
You thought, I'm going to do this to Elyse, and I'm going to make her watch a movie that I know she's not going to like.
I did.
And guess what? I proved you wrong.
You really liked it.
I did.
I was so surprised. I was so surprised you really liked this movie. What did you like about it?
I like an action movie, and so I appreciated it for the action movie part. And I love Neil Patrick Harris, even though he dressed like a Nazi. I know he shouldn't do that, and that's wrong, but I like Neil Patrick Harris. And I don't know. I like space bugs fighting. I like the fact that humans are just pretty much dumb and going in to battle and killing themselves, because that's just pretty much what we do. We're dumb humans.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
So,
yeah. So the thing when I think of this movie, I think of very pointed wonderful satire. I did not remember that this was also just a really good action movie. Like, on top of the satire, on top of the exploration of American politics in modern world, this is just a very well done action film. There are the set pieces are very great. Like the bugs for 1997 look
They're pretty
good.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell it's CGI.
That
it's
giant
not as
brain
good.
bug. You knew that was a brain bug. It looked like a brain.
It did.
That's
look
pretty
like
good.
a brain. It looked
Way
like
to
a
go,
brain.
make that bug look like a brain.
There's a lot of very attractive people in this movie. Not a lot of acting talent.
I guess.
Casper Van Dien, not a great actor. Denise Richards,
That's the most annoying character.
not a great actress.
Most annoying character award goes to Denise Richards.
Neil Patrick Harris, good actor.
Neil Patrick. NPH. NPH is the most solid of them that have come out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's still got a good career. Broadway. Hosting the Oscars soon, you know?
Didn't he already do that?
No, he's hosting them this year.
What
Did
did
he
he
already do them
host?
too?
I feel like he's done that before.
He did the Tonys.
I feel like he's done
most
the
recently.
Oscars before.
Probably.
Yeah, so...
But isn't he doing the Oscars this year? I think he is.
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Let's get our fact checkers on that right now.
Fact-checker.
Fact checker number
You
20631.
You make conversation while I Google some
Please,
Googles.
will you fact check who the host for the Oscars, the Academy Awards of 2018, who will that be?
Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, yes, I do believe
Not Neil Patrick
they are
Harris.
giving Jimmy Kimmel another chance because he screwed it up the last time. They're hoping he gets the envelopes right. Is PWC still going to do the...
I have no idea.
That'll be
I have
interesting.
no idea. We're way off topic here.
Anyways,
Yeah.
we
so-
shot that bunny down with a laser gun.
What?
We chased a bunny. We killed it. It took its helmet off. Now we're back.
I'm so confused as to what you're talking
You
about.
never said that? Chased a squirrel, chased a bunny.
With
when
a
you go off on a
laser gun?
tangent. I was trying to bring it back to Starship Troopers. They had those guns with the laser things.
No, they don't have lasers. They're bullets.
Oh yeah, they are bullets. But I thought I saw a laser in the thing. The guy that got his head shot off. It was like green, it looked like, coming out.
Wow, you're confusing. There's a point in when they're in basic training and boot camp when they're playing with basically like laser tag where they aren't live fire ammunition, but no.
You know what? I brought it back. Starship Troopers. There we go.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about
Good job, me.
let's talk about fascism, Elyse.
Oh,
Let's talk about fascism.
let's talk about Civil War. Let's talk about fascism.
It's great. It's great. Yeah,
Love and marriage.
this movie, the thing that I like the most about this movie is it is constructed to be a propaganda film. Between the commercials
Yeah.
that are in between the "Would you like to know more?"
Which were hilarious. by
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing that it's funny. Last week I was watching a YouTube video by the critic Movie Bob, and he was doing a video on Batman vs Superman, I think, and he was talking about how that movie, even if it was a deconstruction of a genre, it did not do a very good job. And he pointed to Starship Troopers as a great example of how to use satire to kind of deconstruct something. And he pointed out that by casting these very pretty but dumb and not very good actors.
Definitely people from Buenos Aires.
No.
I mean, they look.
No.
They came from there,
So
right?
Hispanic looking.
Aren't they citizens? Oh, see, are they citizens? I think they are.
Citizen or civilian.
Yes.
But by casting these people that are not very good actors, it plays into the idea of this being a propaganda film because it's like
Now-
almost kind of cheaply made and just like hokey and cheesy, but earnest in the most important part, which is you must support the state and you must join the military and you must defeat the bad guys, even though the humans
Even
aren't
though
the
we
bad
don't
guys.
understand them, and they clearly show the commercial about how to shoot the bug, and don't go for the arms, go for the nervous system. And you know what all of the troops do whenever they go to thing? They just shoot the legs. They're not even watching the dumb commercials.
'Cause-
They don't even listen to their friend who studied the creatures. And then they come back and they're like, I think we need to better understand the bugs. Yeah, I think you do. I think you already said what you should do in order to understand the bugs. And
Almost-
you're not listening.
Almost as if this was like an intentional way of pointing back to how Americans treat other countries and how we think we're far superior, so we don't actually have to bother to understand their peoples. We can just go in there, and since we're better and smarter, we can just win automatically, and we don't have to strategize. Almost as if that's an intentional callback.
Let's just blow them all up.
Yeah. And it's so funny because, like, and maybe it's just because I've
really
seen
bad.
Maybe it's just because I've seen the movie so many times, but the satire, the fascist imagery is not subtle at all. Like, one of the first scenes of the movie is their teacher, they're in the middle of class, and their teacher is telling them about the failure of democracy and how specifically the supreme right, the supreme rule is power and violence, and the only way to rule is through violence and destruction. And like this is like,
You made me watch that part twice.
yeah, because you weren't paying attention because you phoned it the first time. You had your phone out. So
They didn't shoot anyone yet.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I like those action films.
You have to like build it. You have to like define your characters first before you go to that. And that's one thing that I think
those
is
are my
like,
sound effects.
Like the movie is a propaganda film, and you watch Casper Van Dien's Johnny Rico indoctrinated into this culture because he starts as this kid who joins the military to impress a girl. That's why he joins, to impress Denise Richards.
The
Carmen.
annoying character.
Well, she's really hot, babe. So she's got big boobs.
But her face.
There's nothing. You think her face is ugly?
I know.
Denise
like
Richards? Wow. Her lips are big. Yeah, that's an unattractive quality in women, is big lips. Yeah. No, that was sarcasm.
When they get too big, I think they're gross. I'm a girl, so I wouldn't know, I guess.
Anyway, so you see Johnny go from this kid who joins up for a girl who, and by the end of the movie, he's fully indoctrinated into the system. So much to the point where he's like just echoing the words and the phrases and like everything that was taught to him by his teacher and later commander. He's just echoing these things mindlessly. And he's just been fully indoctrinated into the system that exists only for violence. Like, the movie never comes out and says it, but it's made very clear.
We're going to send people in and there's going to be lots of casualties.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go.
But it's very clear that the reason this war is happening, the reason that the Arachnids attacked us, is because we
attacked them.
We're not just attacking. We were going into their space. We were colonizing their planets. We were taking over their place, and then they attack us back. And suddenly it's like, oh, we have to wipe them all out. They're a danger to us. And it's just very, very thinly veiled allegory and satire. And there are people, like, I went back and read some reviews when this movie came out, and there were people that like thought this movie was like celebrating fascism and a militaristic society, and I don't know how you would read it that way. Like, I think it's like one of the scenes has like all the military guys saying, "I'm doing my part," and then an 8-year-old kid dressed in full military outfit with a gun also says, "And I'm doing my part," and everyone just goes, "Ah!" And it's like,
and then when they're squishing the bugs, and the mom is like, "Ah!"
Yeah, and it's like, kill the bug. Yeah, because it's just like this violent society. And the thing that I think is interesting about it,
yes, you tell. Yes,
it's not like they are a militaristic, violent society, a fascist society. They absolutely are. Mm-hmm. But they also have achieved a lot of things that we haven't. In this movie, there is no racial disparity. There is no sex disparity. Men and women are treated exactly equal. Races are seemingly treated exactly equal. There is equality in this militaristic society. It's just we've divided class now amongst citizen and civilian. If you serve, you get to be a citizen. You get to vote. If you're a civilian, you are a freeloader on the system that don't get any rights in the system. And I think that could be why some of the people interpret it as being like pro this. Mm-hmm. And the other thing, the reason I wanted to bring up the book is because the book is very...
How did the book compare to the movie?
The book is...
Was your dad correct?
It is very different. It's very different. In the book, the Starship Troopers are like super soldiers that have like really
Like small soldiers?
no, not small soldiers. Stop going
Kind of
back
like
to small
action
soldiers.
figures?
No.
I knew this
No.
was the action figure movie.
Why?
Why is Ashley?
Ashley
Was supposed to be with Gone with the Wind. Stop talking, Ashley.
But they have these super power suits and they have really powerful weapons and they're like really effective like individual soldiers. But the book is not satire. The book is jingoistic. The book is pro-military. The book is like very like, yes, this is like awesome. Like it is unabashedly, unapologetically like pro all the things that this movie is highlighting as bad and dangerous and wrong. And so it's so like Verhoeven like is dunking on this book. Like he's saying like all the things it says, I'm going to make a movie that takes the ideas from this book and I'm going to show you how terrible and wrong they are. And I think that's really cool. But it is, I understand why my dad did not like this adaptation.
Did you like the movie?
I thought he liked the movie. I remember him liking the movie.
Because he didn't seem to be fond of it when we were
saw
talking
them this
to
weekend,
him.
and I brought it up that we watched it, and he's like, "Yeah, that's a bad movie." I'm like, "What, Dad? What?" So,
But
he probably
I
just
loved
hasn't
it.
seen it in a while. And it's interesting because my dad, joined the Air Force. He partially did it because they were going to pay for his college, but he really liked this book as a kid, and I wonder if part of his decision to go the military route was influenced by.
And then he
reading
saw the
this
movie
book.
afterwards and he was like, oh.
I don't know. I don't actually, that's conjecture. I don't actually know if that's related at all. I also know
We
my
can
dad.
speculate all day long.
I mean, I also know
What
my
should we
dad
speculate
wanted
on?
to be an astronaut, and you have to be in the Air Force to do that. So that could have been part of it too. So
And Starship Troopers, they did go to space.
they did. My dad loves science fiction, loves military science fiction, this type of stuff. He loves the type of books he loves to read. So yeah, that's Starship Troopers, and I don't know. I loved the movie. What did you learn anything about marriage or about me or about anything from this movie? I mean, I've talked to you about father-son bonding day before, so this is
You
not a
actually had
concept.
not.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, interesting.
So I learned about father-son bonding day.
I mean, we saw Alien Covenant today, my dad and I.
Well,
Father-son
yeah, but that
bonding day.
was...
It's father-son
you-
bonding day.
But you never explained it. I was just like, oh, you came up with a little funny coin to say Alien. Let's go see Alien. Father-son bonding day. Ha ha. But now I understand the origin of father-son bonding day and why it was important to you. And Starship Troopers. That's my computer voice for your sci-fi movies.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So I get why you would enjoy it. You like sci-fi.
I do.
You
I
love
like
your
sci-fi
dad.
that has something to say.
You
And
love nostalgia too.
I have very fond memories of going to see all these movies with my dad, including this one.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it. I surprised you. Hee hee hee.
You did. You surprised me very much. What?
Let's say it again. I surprised you very much.
I told everyone that we were doing this and that there's no way you were going to like this movie. So
Who's everyone? Oh, these people. Hello, everyone. What?
I meant like friends and
Oh.
family. But yeah, these people too. I told them too.
Oh, hello, everyone. He said I wouldn't like it.
What was your favorite part?
Oh, Scott was wrong. One time during the podcast.
We're really going to do this. What was your favorite part of the movie?
Definitely when Denise Richards got stabbed by the bug. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I don't know. What was my favorite part? Maybe when they were invading the bugs on the planet and they found out it was a trap.
Which when they went went into the outpost.
Yeah. That's Maggie. We have a Maggie, an Ashley, a ghost. Guys, we've got ghosts.
There's a lot of background noises in
There's
this
a lot of
podcast.
things.
We clearly can't have these dogs in here when we record.
I'm sorry, I was also coughing.
All right, so that is Starship Troopers. That is our second film of the week. We are going to be back next week with 2 new movies.
Oh, we are?
And like last week, we are going to tell you guys what the movies are right now. We're going to keep a secret why we picked it. We're going to keep all that stuff a secret.
I'll try and get my reveal down good this time.
All right, Elyse.
What? No, you were going to go first, weren't you?
I am going to go first?
You're going to go first?
Okay.
Yeah. I'll let you go first.
Next week, I have picked...
Well, first of all, you got to tell them what next week is.
What is next? Oh, next week.
Guys, next week we have a wonderful celebration.
Next week, we're
so Scott's put up with me for 365 days next week.
Yeah, we are celebrating our 1 year anniversary next week. We are going to go to New York City because that's where we got engaged. And so we're going to be seeing some shows, hanging out there. We got a really cheap hotel, amazingly.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really great. But so we have picked some movies, I guess, kind of.
Maybe my movie shouldn't be a movie. Maybe my movie should be our show.
I don't know how that'll work.
I don't either.
We might talk about it next time, but I think you should keep what you've picked.
Fine, I will keep what I've picked.
But so in the vein of it being our anniversary, we tried to pick some movies that related to that in one way or another. And I have picked the 2000 comedy drama sort of music movie, High Fidelity. It was High Fidelity, directed by Stephen Frears, based on the Nick Hornby book of the same name. I have very complicated reasons for why I picked this movie, but you will have to wait.
Why
to
you
hear
gotta
those.
go and make things so complicated? Yeah. See the way you're acting like you're somebody else got me so frustrated.
This is not how the song
Life's
goes.
like this, and you fall and you crawl and you break and you take what you get and you turn it into
Are you done? You finished?
honesty and promise me I'm
Elyse,
never
what
gonna
movie-
find you fake.
What movie have you picked?
No. Well, in honor of us going to one of our favorite places for our anniversary, the place we first went on a trip together to, the place where the place where we got engaged. We first got engaged. I'm picking a movie that's a romantic comedy that while we have both seen it before, one thing that you know is that once you get married, you're going to get to watch whatever romantic comedies are your spouse's favorite over and over and over and over again.
Yay.
So we're going to watch You've Got Mail. And while we're in New York, we might do the whole You've Got Mail tour.
What?
It's in the
news
movie. So it tells you
news
all
to
the
me.
places where they filmed and you can go.
You didn't
and
tell me
then-
this was on the schedule.
Yeah. So I think it'll be fun, right?
It
I
will
get
be
to always
fun.
plan the trip.
Will be fun.
So we'll go to the You've Got Mail tour, and then we'll watch You've Got Mail, and then we'll talk about You've Got Mail.
And we'll be back next Tuesday.
and then we'll
for our
watch it the
episode.
next week again,
No.
and then again,
No.
and then again and again and again. Because there's nothing better than Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. They were like the most dynamic duo ever. And then Tom got too big for Meg, and then they were never in any more romantic comedies again. Joe versus the Volcano. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
Did you like Meg Ryan and Castaway?
Meg Ryan wasn't in Castaway.
Yeah, huh? She got to be Wilson. You didn't hear about that?
What?
Yeah.
What?
She was digitally Wilson.
What?
Yeah. They put a green soccer ball on her head and they let her pretend to be Wilson.
That's quite enough, Elyse.
I'm sorry. You
we're-
don't read IMDb trivia.
We're gonna wrap this
Fact
podcast
checker?
up.
Fact checker 2506321.
We're not fact checking
Fact
that.
checker?
We're gonna wrap this thing up for the week, but we had one thing we wanted to try on this week's episode. Maybe we'll try this more going forward. We had a viewer discussion question that we hoped we're gonna ask you and
Discussion?
get some responses back in and maybe read some of those responses on next week's
Read?
podcast. Our question,
You want me to read?
Elyse, what will you read? Will you give the question?
I'm gonna have to pull it up here because somebody turned off my computer, sir. So hang on.
What you have done? We need to start an Elyse voices count. Like how many times you go into different voices?
The viewer question for this week is, what's one movie you were really surprised to learn your spouse or significant other had never seen?
This brought to you by Elyse being shocked to learn I had never seen Gone with the Wind.
Yes.
You can email us at dailyplanetfilms@gmail.com, or you can write in the comments on, if you're listening on YouTube, if you're listening on the website,
Gmail.
you can send in your answer to the question. And if they're good, we'll maybe read
If they're
some
good.
of them. Yeah, you gotta have good answers.
There are such things as dumb questions.
No, it's a good question. There's such thing as dumb answers.
No, there are dumb questions.
No, there's no such thing as a dumb question. Aren't you a teacher?
Yes.
Aren't you a teacher? What are you doing to these students? These poor children.
Scott?
Yeah?
I'm teaching them about real life.
All right, that is all we have time for this week. If you like this show and like what we do here, you can.
If you like me.
If you like Elyse and her tangents,
bunnies.
You can head on.
We'll
over,
shoot them with laser guns.
You can head on over to dailyplanetfilms.com. You can see Elyse on our podcast. That
you can
came out
see
yesterday.
me.
Hear her on the podcast that came out yesterday.
Everybody wants to see me.
On the podcast that came out yesterday.
Sorry. I'll let you talk.
We have our we have a wrap-up episode. We're wrapping up 2017. Stop it. We were wrapping up 2017 and giving out some awards and reading our list. And Elyse was on that podcast, and she was less distracting
Me?
and interrupting as she went on this podcast. So you can check that out at dailyplanetfilms.com. Also, if you like this, you can consider donating to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/dailyplanetfilms. We have a bunch of different tiers and rewards and stuff. And you help support shows like this and make it happen, even though this one, I don't know, Elyse. It's a disaster.
No, it's not.
If I had to guess, I'd say disaster.
No.
Anyway, thank you guys.
You know the disaster
so much.
artist won that award.
What award?
James Franco. Well, I guess not the movie.
No.
James Franco. Not quite as a disaster as you thought. Huh?
Okay, that's all we have time for this week. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week.